I feel like this Texans team is starting to feel a lot like the 2018 Texans in Deshaun Watson's second year. It's feeling like I'm kind of getting that vibe. And I just remember O'Brien used to be so pissed at us. And he would be like, "We won. We found ways to win. And y'all are still critical. It's really hard to win. And all this talk about that. We're winning." And they went 11-5, and then they got their ass kicked in the playoffs. And it's like, okay, like, are you gonna do you feel like maybe we kind of saw something, that this team was like a misleading 11-5? Like the Texans right now. And look, there's chance at improvement. Like I think you have the elite pieces to where it's not a lost cause season. Like it's frustrating. It's a frustrating 6-3, and the expectations are high. And D'Amico Ryans and Nick Caserio, despite all the bitching, they deserve a lot of credit for the expectations being where they are. But it does feel a lot 2018-ish, where D'Amico Ryans is, assuming, you are what your record says it is and all that type of stuff. But you look at it and you say, well, you got a +1 point differential. Everyone else in the playoff picture has a really high point differential. You have by far the worst of all the teams in the playoff picture. You easily could be, if we're being honest, 2-7. I know good teams find ways to win and all that. You could be 2-7. Bills point differential again, +84 in 8 games. Steelers +68 in 8. Chiefs +50 in 7. Denver +53 in 8. Ravens +33 in 8. And Chargers +41 in 7. That's the playoff picture right there. So you're telling us, yeah, it's hard to win in the NFL. You're winning games, but there are some context clues that lead you to believe that the ceiling is a little bit lower than we think. It's the same thing that O'Brien was saying. And like that team as well, you have a quarterback who is called upon to just handle pressure. It's not we're going to limit pressure. It's not we're going to call a game plan to keep you from getting your ass kicked. And I remember in that 2018 season, Deshaun Watson just got his ass kicked terribly against Dallas. And I actually asked O'Brien, I said, hey, Bill, do you think about protecting Deshaun Watson? He said, I don't know. And Deshaun Watson got roughed up. He had to take a bus to Jacksonville because he was getting so roughed up because they weren't really handling that. But this is kind of a misleading 6-3. Now, the good news is I think the elite pieces that you have are such to where we can look back at this and say this wasn't even when this team peaked. I do think they have the potential to peak, but D'Amico Ryans is going to have to get as much out of his offensive staff as he's giving the defense, because right now, and I don't know if that guarantees success, but Bobby Slowick is going to have to elevate his coaching level to what D'Amico Ryans and Matt Burke are if this team's going to have any chance in hell. Because if the Texans on defense had the same problems or similar problems with what they have on offense, I think D'Amico would be able to fix it. I don't know that this offensive staff and this offensive line personnel is capable, but they remind me a lot of, in CJ Stroud's second year, of what Deshaun Watson's team was his second year. There are a lot of similarities there. A lot.
No, you're spot on with so much of that. And I still have, to your point, a belief that there's a chance they can get something going on offense and get back to something that resembles what the rest of the league can perpetrate on offense on a consistent basis. I do believe that. It's just going to be very hard for them to do it, but it's not impossible. Now, maybe 3 weeks from now, we're sitting here and we're having a conversation like, yeah, it feels impossible. It's not impossible if they get it going. They're going to get Nico Collins back. They should be exploring the trade market for help on offense at wherever you want to find help on offense. Like, there's a path to getting back to passing game relevancy. And if they do that, then the rushing attack's going to be even better. It's already a really solid rushing attack, but then the rushing attack's going to be even better. And you can sort of see, okay, they get some things going, but it really is teetering on disaster with the way that this offensive line is playing. And if they keep putting that offensive line out there, then you will see disaster.
Yeah. And we'll see how it shapes up and how it looks. I will say this though, and this is kind of the problem for the Texans right now. I know a lot of fans don't want to hear this. I think you can moonwalk into an AFC South title and figure stuff out. I don't think like the 2018 team was kind of threatened by Indianapolis, and Indianapolis started peaking at the right time and they got hot and they ended up ending your season. I don't see that team in the AFC South really threatening you, but you do have a Detroit Lions team that is really, really good. Their point differentials plus 100, you're plus 1, and they've played 7 games. You've played 9. You got them on Sunday night, which isn't ideal. Although I think D'Amico's defense can step up and figure something out against that offense, or at least slow them down. I do have confidence in that, depending on what's up with Will Anderson. But then you got Dallas, and I know Dallas is an easy target, but you got that. So you got a tough road ahead, but this just reminds me a lot at this point, a hell of a lot of that 2018 team in Deshaun's second year with CJ. And CJ also, here's the other thing that we're not talking about. We can get to this in a little bit. CJ Stroud looks kind of beat down and kind of defeated, and it seems like his spirits kind of crushed.
It's not easy, is what he said. When he's how do you when you're dealing with this, it's not easy. It's not easy.
And I think we can all agree. We'll see what happens.
I will say, Landry, I feel like they had to make a change, obviously, in Indianapolis. I do feel like part of that change is they felt like, yeah, we lost to Houston. We've lost to them twice. We don't think that they're going to run away with this thing. Let's play the guy that's better at quarterback and try to hang around in this thing. I do believe that goes into the decision to go to Joe Flacco.
So you think the Colts saw the Texans and said, all right, this team ain't running away. We can, if we play.
Absolutely. Because if that was the Chiefs, they maybe don't make this. But you go to Flacco because you believe you have a chance to do something this season. And I feel like coming out of the Texans game, they looked around and said, if we just get better quarterback play, we beat those guys that day. We beat those guys the first game. And we've got a rough stretch here the next month. If we can cobble something together, they have issues, we can catch them. I do believe that the move to Flacco was in part because they believed they could catch the Texans.
Now that's it.
And they finish with an easy final 3 weeks. So if they're close, they finish with Tennessee, New York, and Jacksonville. So if they're close, they're going 3-0, and the Texans finish with Kansas City, Baltimore 4 days later, and Tennessee.
Well, I'll be damned. I started this out comparing it to 2018. You're basically.
It is 2018.
Huh?
It is 2018. Yeah.
Well, hopefully Joe Flacco doesn't end your season the way Andrew Luck did.